Tonight on News 5 Live, a big court win for a Maya community, a big challenge to the leader of the opposition's position, and a big mystery on the sleeping giant. We will have the latest developments on these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
Good morning, sweetie. It's time for school.
Are you a teacher or public sector employee who is thinking of owning your new home? Get the keys to your new home with Belize Bank's all-inclusive mortgage, the best financing option in Belize for your new home purchase or construction. Inclusive of all mortgage-related fees, no down payment, affordable terms, amazingly low interest rates. Visit our nearest branch to speak to one of our financial advisors to discuss how you can be one step closer to owning your new home. Some conditions apply.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A-cheese at a supermarket near you. A-cheese, exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
The vaccine is now available. We here at R&G Life encourage you to take the vaccine. Belize, it's time to roll up our sleeves.
I'm rolling up mine because I know what COVID can do to families.
Because I want to go back to the way things were.
I'm rolling up mine so that I'm able to do music again.
Because I want to protect my family.
Things are slowly getting back to normal. The new normal, which includes getting vaccinated. Take the opportunity to get vaccinated at the R&G Life Wellness Clinic Day on Friday, June 18th. We will also have blood pressure, cholesterol, and other screenings available. Get vaccinated. Roll up for Believe.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank. Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, June 17th. I'm Sabrina Daly. $6.3 million. That is what will be awarded to two men and the village of Halakte following a win in the Supreme Court. Details of the case were made available today during a Zoom press conference. For background, the construction of the Halakte Road was an undertaking of the Barrow administration that began in 2013 to refurbish an existing stretch that ran from Dump to the village of Halakte near the Belize-Guatemala border. Since its completion, the road has been heavily used by residents of Toledo District and from other parts of the country. But the government of Belize fell short before the building of that road, since it never sought the free, prior, and informed consent of the village under the decision of the courts. In fact, the Ministry of Agriculture proceeded to occupy land that was being used for traditional farming without compensating the previous owners. It's a costly omission that will result in another significant payout by GOB. This afternoon, the Maya Leaders Alliance and the Toledo Alcaldes Association held a press conference to discuss the most recent victory against the government. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
The indigenous community has secured yet another legal victory in an ongoing struggle with the government of Belize over respect for communal land rights. In a decision handed down on June 16th, Chief Justice Michelle Arana has ruled in favor of two claimants, Jose Ical and Esteban Caal, as well as the Maya village of Halacte.
In 2013, the government had contracted Cisco Construction Limited to carry out a rural road development, which involved the widening of the road between the dump site, which ran through the village of Halacte, all the way to the Belize-Guatemala border. That development project included the acquisition and taking up of some 31.36 acres of land in and around the village of Halacte.
Included in that acquisition were lands that were also being used on both sides of the old road by Ical and Caal for the purpose of traditional farming. Under the ruling of the High Courts, the government of Belize, which at the time was led by Prime Minister Dean Barrow, should have sought free, prior and informed consent from the village of Halacte prior to building a new road.
The complaint made by the claimants was that these lands were in fact customary lands used in accordance with the Maya customary land practices. The court found that in fact the lands were used by the Maya people in accordance with their customary land practices, and as such, it did amount to customary Maya lands. If you will recall, there was a CCJ consent order in 2015 which recognized that the Maya people held or had customary land rights in relation to those villages which they occupied in the Toledo district.
In October and November 2014, the Ministry of Agriculture erected two prefabricated buildings on the north side of the road on a plot that was occupied by Esteban Caal. A year later, another plot was cleared and a thatched structure was placed there by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Belize Agriculture Health Authority, BAHA. They did not enter into negotiation with Caal or the village of Halacte regarding compensation for the acquisition of the land. Rather, the question of whether the land was national land within the context of the National Lands Act became the issue.
One more time, the question concerned in this case was whether the community of Halacte was in fact the owner of the land that was seized and developed by the government. Chief Justice Arana concluded that they did own the land.
Interestingly, Senior Counsel Magali Marin Young also appeared on behalf of the claimants. She is presently the Attorney General of Belize, whose office was named in the suit. In the Chief Justice's decision, the consent order of the Caribbean Court of Justice was violated. Compensation for damages is a six-figure sum.
The court also found that these actions amounted to a breach of the CCJ order as well. Ultimately, the court ordered that certain portions of the land be returned, that it be returned with vacant possession, and the court also ordered several heads of damages, which in total amounted to approximately $6.3 million.
The spokesperson for the Toledo Alcaldes Association and the Maya Leaders Alliance shares their collective satisfaction with the outcome of the matter.
We are delighted that this decision reinforces the legal recognition of indigenous Maya people's land rights as established under international law and in the domestic law since the time of Chief Justice Conte's decision in the case concerning Santa Cruz and Conejo. One more time, the Court of Belize have agreed that the Maya people have agreed with us that we own our lands through our customary use and that we can manage our lands through our customary decision-making processes.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
It started with murmurs and whispers, continued with an exchange of barbs and denials on social media. And then today, there was an actual petition submitted at the United Democratic Party headquarters, seeking to oust the party leader. News 5's Andrea Polanco was among the press corps gathered at the UDP Secretariat this afternoon.
In what can be described as a historic move in the rank and file of the United Democratic Party, members kicked off the move to oust their party leader. And it played out in simple form. Two members of the UDP, who have both failed to win an election, arrived at the UDP headquarters at 3 this afternoon. In his hands, Tony Herrera held a folder which contained a document with signatures from members of the United Democratic Party who want Patrick Faber gone as their leader. Herrera, accompanied by UDP's standard bearer for Port Loyola, Philip Willoughby, went inside the UDP Secretariat on the lower flat to submit those signatures. He emerged a few minutes later.
Today we brought in the recall petition. I must inform you that the recall petition was the Constitution called for 172. We got 290 signatures from 26 different constituencies here. And this is mainly to recall the party leader of our party.
Herrera says that getting more than the required number of signatures is a clear indication that those within the party don't want Faber to lead them. And among them are 3 members of the House: Corozal North's Ugo Pat, Mesopotamia's Shine Barrow, and Queen Square's Denise Barrow.
This is a resounding answer from the delegates. This is the rank and file of the party. So for us to go over 172 means a lot for us and also for the party. It sends a clear message to where we want to go. This is 290 that signed freely. This was not secret ballots of anything. This was a freely and fast. This was, we went out there, we got the signatures and brought them back. This was 26 constituencies. In these 26 constituencies, we have 3 parliamentarian constituencies, which is rightfully said Corozal North, Queen Square, and Mesopotamia. And that's very important.
But to get Faber out through a national convention, they need an additional 65 delegates to support this petition. But Herrera and his group are hoping that Faber will take the high road and step aside based on these 290 signatures.
We are more than sure that we can pass that 355 when crunch time comes along and we have to go to a convention.
But you all don't seriously want to do that. What you all would prefer is that Mr. Faber would see these 290 signatures and send in his resignation. That's what you all want.
Exactly. That is what we would like, to end this thing in peaceful way and an amicable way, and we can continue doing the party business that we need to rebuild this party.
But if Faber leaves, then who will lead the UDP? Herrera was tight-lipped on that subject, but hinted that they may have someone in mind.
We'll take it one step at a time. When the Vatican is looking for a pope, when the Vatican is looking for a pope, you see the white smoke, right? We'll have that. You don't worry about that.
What kind of end game are you all looking at?
Don't worry about that, Jules. I say we'll take it one step at a time. We'll have that when the time comes. We'll have that for you guys. But we do have someone in mind.
So why do some of the UDPs want to recall Faber? It started shortly after the release of a video where Faber is seen engaged in a domestic dispute. He later apologized, but ever since then, members of his party have been taking move against him, and it has since caught on. But what did he do so wrong that could see his party members make a move against him?
We are not here to expose everything. We're trying to handle everything internally as best as we can. But it's like what the 290 is resounding. Obviously there's something wrong, and I'm not here to disclose what is wrong. One thing I can say is that we are not happy in the way he's leading. He's not fit to lead, and that is the bottom line.
The group leading this charge against Faber call themselves Caucus for Change, with 4 leaders. Notably, former leader of the UDP, John Saldivar, who lost against Faber, is one of those leaders. But Herrera says with Saldivar, it is party first.
We have a Caucus for Change that is made up about 20 to 22 aspiring standard bearers and present standard bearers. So it's a group effort that came to this where we are today. John is a leader in our group. I will not say that. Our group is comprised of about 3 or 4 leaders collectively. That's the core of the Caucus for Change. This is not about John Saldivar. This is about the United Democratic Party. John has stated openly that he has no interest in leading at this time, and also you must remember that the Constitution does not allow John to run for leadership of this party. So I would like to clarify that today this is not about John Saldivar, this is about the United Democratic Party.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
We reached out to Chairman of the UDP, Michael Perifit, for a comment on the petition, and he told us via WhatsApp message that he is unable to address the matter today because they are going through internal processes. With that, he commits to speak on the matter in the coming days. We also reached out to the UDP leader, Patrick Fauber, but there was no response. It is the most talked about mystery right now. What is causing the smoke or steam to rise in the Maya Mountains? Well, while the public continues its speculation, ranging from previously unknown volcanic activity to fallen space debris, the Ministry of Natural Resources is assembling an investigative team to run some tests. According to a statement from the Geology and Petroleum Department in conjunction with the Forest Department, they have begun looking into the cause of the event occurring in the area of the Sleeping Giant near St. Margaret's Village on the Hummingbird Highway. The release says, quote, "At present, the cause or source of the plumes is unknown. The investigations will be concluded during the next few days, and at that time, the public will be informed as to the cause and any actions to be taken," unquote. You would recall that on Wednesday, a News 5's team headed to the area and took drone footage of the anomaly. When we spoke with geologist Dr. Jeffrey Frankson, he said he believes the smoke is most likely a steam vent. To make an official determination, however, this weekend, personnel from both Natural Resources and Forest Departments will take the 6-hour trek to the area with a range of equipment. While fire has been ruled out, there is speculation that could have been caused by lightning, steam vent, among other theories. But that will be determined following the weekend expedition to the area. In the meantime, the Natural Resources Ministry is advising the public not to visit the area for their own safety until their investigation is concluded. Coming up, a low vaccination rate among the police prompts the Compal to get his jab. Will more officers be lining up behind him? Find out more when News 5 returns.
Infinite Health presents Common Sense Herbs, everything your body needs, and are all natural, dairy-free, non-GMO, cruelty-free, gluten-free, and are FDA monitored. Everything your body needs. Distributor in Belize, Infinite Health, Birds Isle, Belize City. Telephone number 613-1914. That's 613-1914.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, we're offering 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. And that's not all. The race is on Saturday, June 19th. All roads leads to Benny's Cotton Tree Compound, mile 43 on the George Price Highway, where we will host the first ever Benny's 100. To enter the race, all you have to do is purchase your cart kit from Benny's for only $100. Assemble your cart, sign up, and get a chance to ride off with fabulous prizes. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Remember, it's popping deals for dad in June and Benny's 100 on June 19th, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's.
Did you know that the 2021 Belize Telephone Directory is now available? Get your free copy today at any Digistore, Quartz Belize, and A&R location countrywide. It's available in both regular and mini sizes and loaded with coupons to your favorite places. Use these coupons to save every day. Plus, download the Find Yellow mobile app and always have the directory with you. It's available in Google Play and Apple Store. For more info, log on to www.findyellow.com. The 2021 Belize Telephone Directory. Get yours today.
Corruption is a disease that has devastated our country for over 40 years. How do we know this? When the government of a country displays any of the following symptoms, that's when we know that corruption is the diagnosis. those in power favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Those in power appointing friends and associates to positions of authority without proper qualifications. After being elected, they go from servant leaders to public gods. Why do we need the minister's approval to get land or a job in the public service? Why is it that the minister can give tax exemption to those who they want? Ever wondered, why do we have a debt of over $4 billion and barely have anything in our country to show for it? Why is it that only some people get help from their era representative? Why is there less grocery bag distribution and financial relief to those who really need it? Nepotism, cronyism, abuse of ministerial power, misuse of public funds are all symptoms of corruption. Corruption is bad for the country and our economy. Now you tell us, is GOB suffering from a bad case of corruption? Let's cure this disease. Good governance is our only hope. Remember, teachers were always got to know back. True solidarity for Belize, BNTU.
With only 20% of Belize's police force getting their vaccination against COVID-19, despite being eligible from the earliest phases, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams today rolled up his sleeve and took the jab. News 5's Paul Lopez was there when the Compol and a crop of new recruits got vaccinated.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams today joined the 20% of police officers that have taken the COVID-19 vaccine. He was accompanied by the Minister of Health and Wellness, Michelle Shebat, Commander of the Special Patrol Unit, Aaron Gamboa, and members of that unit.
The experience was good. I have always said that when it was my time to take the vaccine, I would take it. And as frontline workers, police officers, I believe that it's important for us to take the vaccine for the simple fact that we interact every day with people from all walks of life. And when we do interact with people, we do not know what their medical status is. And so it is important for us to do this. It is not like we are well equipped with the different PPEs to protect ourselves. So I believe that the greatest guard we have against contracting the COVID-19 virus is the vaccine.
Police recruits currently in training also lined up to take their first shot of the AstraZeneca vaccine. And as subordinates to their commissioner, were they commanded to follow suit and take the vaccine?
This is a matter of a constitutional issue. Taking the vaccine is something that a person must decide individually. There is no mandatory vaccination being imposed by the government. And so even though we are a disciplined organization, I cannot instruct someone to do something that goes against their health or what they believe may go against their health. And so all the recruits who are being vaccinated today are doing so on their own free will, and if a matter of fact, not all of them are being vaccinated. If it was a command, it would have been every single one of them.
Minister of Health and Wellness Michelle Shebat lauded the Commissioner of Police for leading by example and publicly displaying his confidence in the vaccine.
This is an important process for us at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. As you know, we have a massive vaccination drive campaign going on. We felt that it was important to get the police involved because they are at the front line of this battle. And so to get as many of them vaccinated as possible is important. We are thankful that the Commissioner shares that view, and it is through his assistance that you see the kind of turnout that we have here today. So we are grateful to him, and we're especially grateful that he is showing his confidence in this vaccine by being vaccinated himself. I think that sends an important message not only to the policemen, but to the wider community.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
And police officers are clearly at risk. In fact, News 5 learned today that an officer from the Orange Walk Police Formation has reportedly tested positive for COVID-19. The department is closely monitoring the situation, as several officers have since been sent home while they await the results of their PCR test. With 80% of police officers still not vaccinated, the Belize Police Department is looking for incentives. These include the chance to win a luxurious overnight stay for two at a resort in the Cayo district.
I do agree with you that we need to have more of our enlisted officers do this, and we're doing so. If you notice, we have some persons from SPU, we have some from MIT, Mr. Saranablat, some from San Ignacio, there are some from Benapan Police Station. They are here to be vaccinated as well. And what I will be doing as of today is that every police officer who gets vaccinated, their name will go in a thing for a raffle, and we're raffling a night for two at Kana Resort in the Kyle district. The night for two will also include continental breakfasts and the likes. So it is done with a move to try and provide some incentive to officers who may want to be vaccinated. And I know that there are some people who are fearful of getting vaccinated, but I believe that it's a good thing.
And for their part, is the Belize Defense Force using training opportunities as a means of forcing soldiers to take the vaccine? That's a complaint that came to News 5, where some soldiers felt that they were being forced to take the vaccine, or else training and other professional development courses would be withheld. They were issued with a declaration form that reads, quote, "I fully understand that refusal to do so will result in me not being able to partake in future training or courses provided by, through, or in partnership with the Belize Defense Force," unquote. Today, when we spoke with Chief of the Staff of the BDF, Anthony Velasquez, we asked him about this form and the vaccination rate within the BDF.
Well, it's not distributed to all the members of the BDF. It originated from 1st Battalion, stationed in the Lizarra Camp, Kyle District. That originated from the battalion commander, and it went against the BDF policy on vaccination. Our policy is that it's not compulsory, so the soldiers voluntarily take the vaccine that's offered. So the battalion commander will be called in and counseled and issued further guidance.
Okay, right, because the persons had informed us here at News 5 that they were being told if they don't take the vaccine, they're not eligible for like training opportunities. That's not an incentive that the BDF is pushing, right?
No, definitely not. So that's against our policy. So that will be cancelled, and we offer the vaccine to our soldiers every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so far about just under 10% of the force has probably taken the vaccine already, gotten their first shot. Some of them have gotten their second shot already.
Why do you think the number is so low for the number of your officers who've taken the vaccine? Is there some sort of fear? What's going on?
Well, we're a microcosm of the general society, so whatever fear or doubt exists in the general society exists here as well. But we try our best to encourage our people to take the vaccine, and it's working. Slowly but surely, our soldiers are increasing in numbers, are taking the vaccine.
Last week, we told you about a group of up to 35 Filipino nurses who have resigned or will be resigning from the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital to seek employment in other countries. One Filipino nurse who spoke to News 5 told us many of the nurses are discouraged because they are being asked to pay high fees to renew their work permits and being told to sit a nursing exam. Their exit from the health system leaves a serious staffing gap during a global pandemic. And while the Ministry of Health and Wellness says it is working to fill these gaps, Minister Michelle Shabat says he does not believe the concerns raised by the Filipino nurses are the real reasons for their resignation. Shabat contends that they are leaving to get a bigger salary elsewhere, and packages Minister Shabat says Belize simply cannot compete with.
We're living in a certain economic time in this country, but I can tell you that this government, more than any other government, has invested in nurses in this country. When we came into the government in the first 4 months, we paid all the nurses all the overtime that was owing to them. We understand that they're at the front line. We understand that things are difficult and they bear the burden of this, and we're not mindless of that. I can tell you, for the first time ever, this government, through the Ministry of Health and Wellness, is offering 50 scholarships for nurses. So this is a sector of the public health system that we believe in, and as time goes by, we're going to be improving their terms of service. We cannot compete with the first world. The fact that nurses leave us every year is not new. This is something that's happening to us year after year. And what are we doing? we feel that it is important to train as many of our people as we can so that we can shore up our numbers here. And so we've taken that as a first step, right? And we're now going to be looking at the terms of service of nurses. So I hear them, but I want to say to them, we are working. It's going to take some time, but we're going to get there.
So one of the concerns of those Filipino nurses was that fee. So can you speak to the release that I think it came out to your ministry stating that that fee had been waived for over the past year. So what's the issue there?
Well, we don't believe it's an issue because in fact there was a directive, there was a memorandum coming out of the Ministry of Immigration from last year stating that those fees have been waived. I also know that they were complaining about this exam that they have to take. Let me tell you this, these nurses have licenses to operate in Belize up until 2022, and the nursing council was prepared to give them an extension. And so I don't believe that it is a problem here. The situation is they're getting better pay elsewhere, and that is why they're leaving.
But they were under the impression that they had to pay those fees.
Which I don't understand because there was a circular, it is in writing, I do not know what happened there, but I cannot see how that was a reason for them leaving.
The Nurses and Midwives Council of Belize has issued a statement on temporary nursing licenses and licensure examination following the controversy over the foreign nurses departing Belize. The council says it would like to clarify certain statements made in the media about the process since they are the licensing and registering body for all nurses and midwives. For background, the council says in August of 2020, all nurses on temporary licenses were told that to regularize their status in accordance with the Nurses and Midwives Council Registration Act, they must sit the licensure examination. They say the nurses were given a 2-year grace period and that at no point did they refuse to issue nursing licenses. In fact, the council says it issued 57 temporary nursing licenses with expiration dates into 2022 to 2023, and so all nurses are currently licensed. In view of the COVID-19 pandemic and the chronic shortage of nurses, the council has approved an additional year, making it a 3-year grace period for nurses that are on temporary license to sit the exam. The extension of the temporary license will provide the nurses with 4 opportunities to sit the examination. Note that all nurses, including Belizeans, are required to sit this exam to obtain a license to practice in Belize. After the break, the BDF loses a soldier of 13 years to an accident, while another is honored for his accomplishments.
Development and Housing is creating a registry for contractors with varying disciplines, qualifications, capacities, and skills. This will centralize all registered contractors in efforts of creating equal employment opportunity across the public and private sector, as well as will give confidence for owners in quality of listed contractors. Contractors will be categorized by the following disciplines: 1. General building. 2. Civil works road construction. 3. Bridge construction. 4. Land development. 5. Tradesperson. And 6. Specialist contractor. Applications can be gotten free of charge from the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing for the next 90 days or via email from the Project Execution Unit. Initial applications to the registry will be processed up to the 27th of August 2021. For more information, you can email ceo.secretary@mow.gov.bz or peu@midh.gov.bz. Register today and do your part to build Belize.
As police officers, we are expected to continue to carry out our duties, trying our best to uphold and also to enforce the health regulations. The police department has an important role in the overall fight against this pandemic. We have been affected greatly as frontline workers, but now we have a vaccine to help us move forward as a country. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine. I will take the vaccine when it's my turn. I urge you to take it too. #GetVaccinated_Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
Do not hesitate, Belize. Vaccinate. Be COVID-19 safe.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait. Vaccinate.
If you care, love them,
protect them,
vaccinate them.
In exercise of the power conferred upon it by Section 7 of the Electricity Act, Chapter 221 of the Laws of Belize, and with the approval of the Minister, the Public Utilities Commission PUC, the Commission hereby notifies the general public that it intends to enact a bylaw in relation to electricity procurement and power purchase. The bylaw shall govern the procurement processes for wholesale, distributed energy resources, and short-term power purchases by addressing the roles of the Commission and the utilities. The bylaw seeks to secure public welfare, national security, and services at the best value for money. Further clarify the exercise by the Commission of its duties under the Public Utilities Commission Act and Electricity Act. Provide for increased conservation and efficiency of electricity resources by utilities and equitable retail rates for consumers, and detail the RFP and PPA processes. Regulatory tools to achieve the Commission's public interest mandate of setting tariffs for the provision of electricity service to the public. Members of the public are invited to give their comments by email info@puc.bz or post by 17 July 2021. The draft bylaw may be viewed in its entirety at the offices of the Commission at 41 Gabriel Lane, Belize City, or on the PUC website at www.puc.bz.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
2020 taught us the importance of being connected to the virtual world, and NextGen is here to keep its commitment to you. Even if you're physically apart, NextGen keeps you digitally connected.
Okay everyone, thank you for following me today.
NextGen provides more than just an internet plan. They provide service plans that support all your online needs. Sign up today and get your NextGen's ultra high-speed internet service. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
A member of the Belize Defense Force lost his life in a road crash on Wednesday. It happened in Toledo just before 5 o'clock when a motorcycle and a truck collided. The victim, Hippolyto Shaw, served for 13 years in the BDF and was a resident of Santa Elena Village in Toledo. Here's the story.
Defense Force soldier Hippolyto Shaw died in a road traffic accident on Wednesday evening. Shaw was driving this motorcycle when he collided into this white Digitruck on the outskirts of Jacintoville in Toledo.
As far as we know here, it's a motorcycle accident that occurred sometime yesterday around 5 p.m. where he unfortunately collided with another vehicle, and that led to his fatal injury.
According to police, the driver of the truck, a digitechnician Jerry Nicholas, reported that he saw a motorcycle traveling from the opposite direction in the same lane. Nicholas claims that he honked his horn, but the cycle continued in the same lane and collided into his truck. Photos from the accident scene show a motorcycle with extensive damage to the front and Shaw stretched out on the ground with head injuries. Responders to the scene tried to administer help, but Shaw died shortly after. Shaw was a private class soldier in the BDF for more than 10 years.
He's 227453 Private Hippolyto Shaw, and he served the BDF for 13 years. He enlisted January 2008, and since his enlistment, recently he has served the BDF in various capacities, and more recently, up to the time of his death, he was a soldier in the light engineer company, and they do construction engineer type of work, and he was attached to 2 battalions in Punta Gorda to assist with some construction work in that area.
Chief of Staff Anthony Velasquez says Private Shaw was well liked and will be missed. The BDF is providing assistance to the family.
Any loss is a shock shock to us in the BDF, and his friends and colleagues have all expressed their condolences to the family and amongst each other. He was well liked and he'll be missed, and his grieving process has started obviously for us here in the Police Defense Force, and we have contacted his family, and we are in contact with them, and we are at present arranging funeral arrangements and any other welfare issues that we might have to deal with in terms of the passing of Private Ippolito Shaw.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
As a serving member of the BDF, Shaw will receive a full military honor burial. Police have not yet said if charges will be filed against the driver of the truck. The NCO Leadership Center of Excellence inducted several individuals into the International Military Student Office Hall of Fame at a prestigious ceremony held on Wednesday. Among the inductees was Belize's very own Warrant Officer Class 1 Wilfredo Mahano, who has been with the Belize Defense Force for 25 years. While he could not be there in person for the induction, these persons are considered to have made lasting contributions to the leader development and education of non-commissioned officers in their countries. Here's a clip from the ceremony.
Our second inductee is from the Belize Defense Force, Warrant Officer Class 1 Wilfredo I. Mahano. Warrant Officer Class 1 Mahano could not join us today because of prior commitments. Warrant Officer Class 1 Mahano served in the volunteer element for 8 years, then was transferred to the regular force element where he's been serving for 17 years. Warrant Officer Class 1 Mahano is a graduate of the Class 70 at the United States Army Sergeant's Major Academy, Fort Bliss, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, our inductee's contributions to the NCO Leadership Center of Excellence mark him with distinction and honor as we proudly name Warrant Officer Wilfredo I. Mahano a member of the NCO Leadership Center of Excellence Hall of Fame.
The International Student Hall of Fame in Fort Bliss, Texas was established back in June 2009 to recognize those international students who graduated the Sergeant's Major course and have gone on to become senior enlisted advisors to their respective armies. The Commissioner of Police is sending a strong warning to anyone hosting social gatherings contrary to COVID-19 regulations. This includes those individuals and companies who have become creative and are now hosting parties on boats out at sea. Compal Williams says the police department is working with the Belize Coast Guard, and they will find your party boat.
If the law provides that these activities are prohibited, it is a duty of the police to ensure that the law is enforced. At the end of the day, doing it is to safeguard all of us, because when we have this handful of people who, for their own aggrandizement, want to be throwing parties here, there, and everywhere, and then they cause majority of people to become infected again, then where do we go? It puts you at risk, it puts me at risk, it puts the entire public at risk. And so I just simply call upon people to please act responsibly. It is not because we are seeing that the numbers are low, it means that we must do everything we want to do. We still have to be extremely careful in what we do to ensure that we do not get infected and infect others. And that is simply what the police is doing, ensuring that people abide with the regulations. All these boats that are having big zippers and these things, I'm communicating with Coast Guard, and we're going to hunt them down on the seas because they need to stop. Right? They're putting the people of this country at risk, and it cannot be countenanced no more.
Although Belize was among the nations who abstained from during a vote at the Organization of American States on the situation in Nicaragua, today Belize's Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney told News 5 that he and Prime Minister Briceño had, quote, a bilateral with Nicaragua in which he expressed our concerns directly, unquote. The resolution by the OAS condemns the Ortega regime in Nicaragua. In a statement issued by Bradley Frieden, interim permanent representative of the United States to the OAS, he says, quote, it is indeed unfortunate that we find ourselves here today once again to discuss the situation of Nicaragua. This despite years of good faith offers by the OAS and its member states to help Nicaragua ensure that its electoral framework would allow the Nicaraguan people to choose their leaders through free and fair elections, unquote. A joint statement from the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of Costa Rica, Belize, Guatemala, Panama, the Dominican Republic, and Spain expresses deep concern over the recent actions taken by the government of Nicaragua. Reuters news agency reported today that police in Nicaragua are arresting political opponents of President Daniel Ortega. They are also rounding up dissidents from the Sandinista movement in an offensive ahead of November's presidential election. 4 of his opponents have been arrested within the past 2 weeks, including Cristina Chamorro, who was placed on house arrest on June 2nd. She had just announced her intention to challenge Ortega in the November elections. 3 others have been taken into custody, including insurgents from the Sandinista movement that ushered him into power in the late 70s. Just ahead, changing roles for fathers in our society. Some men talk about raising kids alone, paying maintenance, and a host of other issues. Don't go away.
Rain or shine, any weather. When we go ball, we go burger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go ball, we go burger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say ball, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go ball, we go burger. When we go ball, we go burger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go ball, we go burger.
Why, Tony?
Boy, kid, what you going on, man?
We actually can see we can need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups from the grocery shop because they run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran out to the last batch, must have been like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? What are you going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me and the one with this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your smart broadband with smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
No make no sense at all. No kind of sense. That Belize video when I have that sign up there in the China for.
That not in your Chinese at all, that in Spanish.
You understand what it said then?
Yeah. It said wear your face mask properly, cover your nose and your mouth.
Will help prevent the spread of COVID to others. Together we could make Belize safe.
Wear your mask properly over your mouth and nose to protect yourself and others. Together we can keep Belize COVID-19 safe.
This just in, Leader of the Opposition Patrick Faber has responded to our request for a comment on the petition to recall him as party leader. He says, quote, "This is unfortunately another obstacle in the rebuilding of our beloved party. I will continue at this point to deal with these matters internally and at an appropriate time soon will make a public statement concerning this and related matters." Unquote. Today at the Belize Institute of Management, the National Committee for Families and Children, through its National Parenting Task Force, held a Male Talk Forum. The event, which brings together men from various walks of life, is timely as Father's Day will be celebrated this weekend. The goal of the forum is to discuss issues that impact the roles and effective contribution of men in our society.
Today's event is a part of our activities for the year, and putting men in a discussion forum about some of the issues affecting families and children and how our roles define and complete this whole package of family, right? So I think the discussion today is primarily around child maintenance and some of these other issues that also affect generally family, but more in particular men. We have approximately, I'd say about 15 to 16 men from varying backgrounds, varying economic and social sectors, different levels of education. And so again, these issues are cross-cutting, so it doesn't really matter which socioeconomic situation you're in. It's basically how does it affect you as a man?
One of the presenters at the session today was Director of the Family Court, Dale Cayetano. He spoke about the legal challenges when men seek custody of children, as well as child maintenance commitments. But the men present also discussed the cultural shift needed and rethinking the way men are socially perceived. This is especially important for those successfully raising children as single fathers and men facing gender-based violence.
We're also hoping to deal generally with what constitutes some of our behaviors, what constitutes some of our long-term planning, why are we hindered by some of these issues, if we're hindered any at all, and how do we see ourselves in the role of fatherhood and unclehood and brotherhood within the society. Because we do not report, we do not speak sometimes, there are a lot of men who are victims of gender-based violence. And gender-based violence is not just physical, right? There's psychological, there's emotional violence, there's all these things. And so you have a lot of men who are in these situations who might not feel that they have any recourse, who might not feel that they have any place to go for service. And so, again, this is some of the things that the society has to build into its structure.
Just ahead, the Football Federation of Belize goes to Portland, Oregon looking for recruits. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
The contamination of water we all depend on is a very urgent issue. As Belize's popularity and industries grow, challenges increase. In this episode, we will examine the issue of water pollution in Belize. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually because of human activities. Water bodies include lagoons, rivers, aquifers, and oceans. On the marine side, the discharge of sewage and bilge water from cruise ships and other live-aboard vessels, in combination with unregulated development of coastal areas, has led to the degradation of marine ecosystems such as mangroves and coral reefs. Our inland waters are facing their own challenges. As agricultural development increases, pesticides, fertilizers, and waste products are running off into rivers. Increased river traffic from boat tours and sugar barges adds to the already stressful conditions of the freshwater ecosystems. In addition, companies that collect sewage sometimes dump the waste right into the waterways. Additionally, in densely populated areas like Belize City and Orange Walk, poor sewage designs result in the contamination of groundwater and of water bodies by both sewage and wash water. In many cases, homes and businesses dump their wastewater directly into drains, which leads to rivers and the sea. Wastewater, detergents, and petroleum collect in drains that empty into waterways, such as the New River and the Belize River. This, along with the runoff and discharges from the agricultural and industrial businesses, have been inadequately monitored and enforced. The answers to overcoming water pollution issues are fourfold: improved infrastructure, adequate treatment, increased legislation and monitoring, and of course, changing our habits for the better. While it is urgent that better management on a policy level is needed, there are a few things we can do at home to help. Ensure proper treatment systems are installed for all wastewater at your home and business. Don't dispose of oil from your automobiles or cooking and household detergents down the drain. And lastly, minimize the usage of chemicals and fertilizers and report any dumping into waterways to the Department of the Environment. The government has recognized the threat of inadequate liquid waste management and is working toward goals of reducing and reversing its effects. For more information on what's being done about water pollution and ways you can help, visit our website at doe.gov.bz. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
This week, Technical Development Director Philip Marin of the Football Federation of Belize has been visiting Portland, Oregon College ID Camp in the United States. The visit was to observe 16-year-old Jaden Dubon of the United PDX Club, who has been recruited for Belize's under-18 men's national team. In the process, Marin has been able to network with U.S. colleges coaches and also meet with Coach Ryan Jordan, who trains national team player Michael Salazar. As Marin found out, the possibilities are great for an ID camp organized by the United PDX Club in Belize, in which local youth athletes would participate.
It's an honor and a dream come true to be able to represent the country that I'm going to be able to play for.
Yeah, we're hosting our first annual college ID camp for high school graduates with graduates in years 2022 and 2023. We have 14 different college coaches here from Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, the University of Washington, University of Portland, Seattle University, Dixie State, UCLA, Gonzaga, Division 2, Seattle Pacific, Humboldt State, Western Washington, Division 3, Linfield, Willamette, Colorado College, and the NAIA corporate universities here.
What's the possibility of having one of this ID camp in Belize?
100% we can host one of these in Belize and set it all up.
Technical Director Marin returns to Belize on Friday with a donation of football boots, shin guards, and gloves. It's a donation from the Dubon family, Chris and Spencer Carl, and Tercy Soccer Store.
It's a big donation from my family and Spencer Carl and Chris Carl and the store of Tercy Soccer.
Okay, thank you, and please, from the Football Federation, I want to say thank you to She's Dubon, also to the people of Portland, Oregon for the kind donation of the football cleats and also for the goalkeeper gloves.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.